Hi, welcome to live stream yoga with Louise. Tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today we are contemplating how we react to situations as they unfold. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify when you need to, take a rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to begin today's practice with a few rounds of moon salutation, Chandra Namaskar. Find a nice tall stand at the top end of your mat. Bring your hands together, palms up. This will be your begin and your end position for each successive round of moon salutation. You're going to take a big breath in to prep. On the exhale, you're going to support your lower back as you come into a back bend. Then fold forward with soft bendy knees. Think tummy to thighs. Roll back up into your back bend and begin to move dynamically between the back bend and your soft bendy forward fold, giving yourself at least 3 turns. Then the next time you find yourself coming down, step the left leg back. Find your way into a modified side plank by turning both of your feet to the right. This will necessitate you knife edging the back foot. Then begin to draw a semicircle with your right hand reaching in front and behind you for a few turns. Then pivot on the mat, come to a side squat lunge, starting about hip height, just gently warming into the hips and the groin area. Then pivot yourself facing towards the back end of the mat to step back into a full plank. Relax your knees, shins and feet to the floor. Come into puppy pose, relaxing or draping your arms on the mat and looking off the front of the mat with your chin and your chest hovering just off the mat. Drag your way onto the belly. Lean up into a small cobra chest lift. Stay here or begin to play with a soft up-down undulating motion through the shoulders, shrugging off that tension. Lead your way into a soft down dog frame from here and find some soft, playful rotational movement to the knees and the hips. Then still your down dog. Kick up the left leg, finding your way into a 3-legged dog. Do a switcheroo and kick up the right leg behind you. Do a swing through step coming into a soft bendy forward fold. Peel it up into your supported back bend. Come back to your start position, palms up to the sky, and begin to roll right in again, finding your back bend and your forward fold. Move 3 times between those 2 frames. Then as you come down on your last one, step the right leg back, turn both of your feet to the left, knife edge your back foot, and begin to trace that semicircle with your free arm. Pivot, find your side squat lunge. Find your way to the top end of the mat, step back into a full plank, body line nice and parallel to the mat. Release your knees, shins and feet to the floor. Drape yourself on the mat, finding your puppy. Ease your way into the belly, find a little cobra chest lift. Play with it if you feel so inclined. Ease your way into a soft down dog frame. Take the movement into your knees and your hips in blissful dog, svananda. Settle into your down dog stretch. Kick up the right leg behind you on this side. Switch legs. Do a swing through step into a soft bendy forward fold. And then peel up into your supported back bend. Bring your hands together, palms up, and roll right in to your next round, finding your back bend and your soft forward fold. After your 3rd round, as you come down into the fold, step your left leg back, turn both feet to your right, set up your modified side plank, and begin to trace that semicircle with your free arm. Pivot. Find your side squat lunge. Maybe you're dropping just a little bit lower to the floor this time. Think Tai Chi. Find your way to the back end of the mat. Step back into a full strong plank. Release the knees, shins, and feet. Ease your way into a nice, delicious puppy stretch. Onto the belly for your cobra. And maybe a little playful release through the shoulders. Find your way into a down dog. Move through the knees and the hips. Still your frame. Kick up the left leg first. Then the right. Swing through, step into a soft forward fold. And then a supported back bend. Come back to your start position. And then roll right in to your next round. Moving between the back bend and the forward fold. Find your rhythm. Move with your breath. The next time you find yourself coming down, step the right leg back, turn both feet to the left, set up your frame, and then trace that semicircle. Pivot. Find your side squat lunge, opening up generously through the groin, working those inner thighs. Find your way to the top end of the mat, step back into a nice strong plank. Release to puppy when you're ready. Onto the belly for your little cobra, with maybe a shrugging release through the shoulders. Lead your way into a down dog. Move through your knees and your hips. Then still your dog. Pick up the right leg behind you. Then swap legs. Do a swing through step. Peel back up, find your supported back bend. Let's do one more full round. Find your back bend, find your fold. We're going to step back with the left leg to set up our side plank. And then trace that semicircle. Pivot. Let's find that side squat lunge, Sahaya Ardha Malasana. Ease your way to the back of the mat for your plank. Relax down to puppy. Onto the belly for your little cobra dance. Then soft down dog frame for your release into the knees and the hips. Still your dog, kick up the left leg. Switch legs, kick up the right. Swing through, step into a soft forward fold. Peel up into a supported back bend. Hands together, palms up. For our last round, finding your play between the back bend and the forward fold. Then stepping the right leg back, turning both feet to the left, setting up your side plank frame, and then tracing that semicircle. Pivot. Find your way into your side squat lunge, trying to come nice and low to the mat, so you're really feeling that work into the groin. Ease your way to the top end of the mat, find a strong plank. Release to a puppy stretch. Drag it onto the belly. Find some spontaneous cobra play. Down dog frame, release through the knees and the hips. Still your dog, pick up the right leg first, then the left. Swing through step, peel it up, hands together. Then let's start to keep this tall stand in mountain and play with the arms. We're going to harvest some energy from the universe, bring it towards your chest, then reach back for some more. Think of this as a continuous motion, looking to harvest energy, bringing it towards yourself, going back out for some more. Starting to find that breath connection. And after your last harvest, maybe placing one palm over the other on your chest, we're going to come into a one-legged mountain. Think knee drawing up on the left. Find your balance, find your control, keeping your eye trained on a focal point on the wall in front. Stay here or begin to extend the leg and hold it there, using that zippering up action through the lower abs. Ekapada Tadasana, which we're morphing into a hand to big toe D balance. Then big lunge, step back, finding your way into a warrior two. Nice deep lunge line, back leg open at 90, reaching for the wall in front, reaching for the wall behind. Legs nice and strong. Then sweep both hands behind you. See if you can maybe interlace them either loosely or you could make a tight fist. Drop that fist down between your bum cheeks and arch slightly through the spine, thinking of opening up your chest, your throat, and your third eye to the sky as you come into an arching warrior two. If the balance is good, take a bow into humble warrior. Ease your way from here into a revolved lunge, beginning to pivot on the back foot, dropping the left arm down and reaching with your right fingertips for the wall behind you. Trying to get a nice drop down through the pelvis. Then anchor that back foot, think low warrior two, and come into a low side angle, making a T-frame through your arms. Maybe dropping one hand to the floor, using the whole arm as a splint on the inseam of your lead leg so that you can press back and open up through the groin. Stay here or find your way into some Skandasana side plank. We're going to mimic what we were doing when we were playing in our moon salutation, but we're going to think half squat line, maybe fingertips on the floor, or you can float the fingertips if your balance is feeling good. Give yourself a few rounds moving right to left. Then find your way into Prasarita, squaring up your feet into parallel, maybe even doing a drop down through your crown and thinking crown hovering just off the floor. Legs are squared up, all 10 toes looking in the same direction, inner thighs working, belly button pulled into center. Open up that straddle line as wide as you can go. From here, we're going to find our way to the top end of the mat. We're going to release into a low lunge, releasing the back foot to the mat, walking up, maybe pressing off that lead thigh, looking for a nice little stretch into the hip flexor and the quad on the back leg. Maybe we can even throw the arms up and think crescent-like frame through the back. Hold your low lunge. Then sweep back into a hamstring stretch. It could be a high stretch where you're just leaning back, bum just behind your hip line and maybe extending the front leg, or maybe you'd like to take a little seat here. Maybe you'd even like to connect to your front foot. So just play with it. We're going to bleed our way from here into a cat-cow. So when you're ready, sweep your lead leg back, coming into a nice 4-point kneeling position on the mat. Think hollow back. On the inhale, as you take chin, chest to sky. And then on the exhale, change the frame, think rounded back. Give yourself a few dynamic rounds of cat-cow, finding the breath pattern that works for you, and syncing your movement to your breath. Come to stillness somewhere between the two frames, finding a long stretch through your neck and your spine in table pose, Brahmanasana. Slide the right arm out, keeping your fingertips connected to the mat and keeping even through the shoulders. Replicate the stretch on the opposite leg. In unison, float them up into table and pause here, taking a long stretch. Reach with your fingertips, reach with your toes. Stay here or find your way into tiger stretch, bending your floating back leg, reaching opposite hand to foot, squaring up through the shoulders and the hips, and then replicating that cow-like frame through the back as you actively kick the foot into your hand. And of course, if the tiger stretch is not happening for you today, just hold that opposite arm and leg stretch. Tiger stretch, Vyabrasana. We're going to bleed our way into a little child stretch here with a nice extended arm line today, pressing into the palms, taking a nice stretch into the whole line of the arms, feeling the trunk take a delicious stretch. Flare your knees open slightly so that you can comfortably look for lateral expansion while settling into Balasana, child pose. We're going to ease our way into a down dog from here. Tuck your toes under. Find the stretch. Try to anchor through both feet as best you can. Stretching through the entire line of the legs, the line of the arms, the line of the trunk, the line of the spine. Then soften the right knee, kick up the right leg behind, coming into the three-legged dog. Pausing here, keeping as level as you can through the shoulders and the hips. Try not to pop and rotate on the right hip. We're going to use this three-legged dog to set up a pigeon. Think knee to nose plank. Then rotate the right foot in, relaxing that leg to the floor, keeping your lead knee in line with your right hip or slightly wider. Then relax the back, knee, shin, and foot to the floor and begin to slide, walk, creep your back leg away. Give yourself a little bit of a side-to-side sway through the hips. And then try to come to stillness so that it feels like the weight of your body is equal on the right and the left side of the spine. Pause here. Taking a seat into that pigeon, Eka Pada Rayaka Pottasana, one-legged pigeon. Maybe you could bleed down onto the forearms, thinking Sphinx. You could even take a little bow here into almost a marry of the child pose that you were playing with a few moments ago. Arms softly draped on the mat. If you were draped on the mat, find your way to the elbows. Find your way to the palms. We're going to step back into a nice strong plank. Tuck your back toe under, bring the knee up off the floor. Slide your lead leg back. Brace your core. Arms nice and strong, legs nice and strong. Hold. We'll use this plank line to ease our way into the squat. The squat could be a midway squat or a deep squat, depending on how open you're feeling through the hips. So step it up. Maybe you're just coming into a halfway hang. Maybe the floor is your friend and you can drop nice and low. If the hips are really tight, give yourself a side to side sway. Give your brain an opportunity to warm and then settle in. Maybe you could even bring your hands together in prayer. Actively use those elbows. React as you see fit, depending on how your body is feeling. We'll do a little straddle fold from here. Square up your feet so that they're on the outer edges of your mat and fold forward, reaching for the inseam of your legs as you look for a little bit of inversion through the head. If you're prone to headaches, maybe look for more of a tabletop line, maybe actively pressing off the tops of your thighs and just lengthening the line of your spine. React as you see fit. Try to keep the weight bearing as equal as you can on all four quadrants of your feet. Then soften through your knees, ragdoll style, peel up and begin to heel toe your legs in, coming back into your original mountain stance. Begin to harvest yourself some energy, finding that tall, stacked body line and beginning to gather some energy on the space around you. End with your hands stacked on your chest. Do a knee pull up on the right and hold, looking for balance, looking for control as you come into your one-legged mountain. Maybe you can even extend the leg and find a standing hand to big toe D. Swing your right leg back, coming into a deep warrior two lunge. Open the arms, palms down, fingertips reaching long and lengthened. Settle in. Make sure that your body weight is balanced between the front and the back and that you're not favoring either. Maybe you can keep that warrior two leg stance. Sweep the arms behind you, looking for either a loose interlace or a narrow interlace where the two palms are flush along the midline. Maybe more of an arch through the spine and a peak up towards the sky as you find your arching warrior two. Take a big breath in. On an exhale, find your way into a soft bow. Revolved lunge. Place your right hand on the floor, pivot on your back foot. Reach and look for the back wall. Then begin to pivot ever so gently, setting yourself up a side angle. So think low warrior two position on the leg. Open up your arms into a T-frame and try to sit your bottom or the weight of your bottom nice and heavy to the floor so that you're feeling that opening through the groin. Stay here or come into some Skandasana, side plane. Thinking of moving side to side in a half lunge line. Maybe you're keeping your fingertips connected to the floor throughout. Maybe you're floating them and reaching, thinking Tai Chi. We're going to find our way into Prasarita from here, squaring up our feet into a wide standing straddle, thinking palms to floor, crown heavy to floor, weight bearing equal on all four quadrants of our feet, inner thighs working, feet working, belly working. From here, we're going to look for a low lunge at the top end of the mat. Maybe just pressing off our lead thigh or making it a full crescent lunge, Anyanga Asana, by thinking arms to sky. Then bump your hips back, coming into a hamstring stretch. That's either high or maybe it's a low seat. You could even look for a bind on the lead leg. Give yourself a few moments. Iron out that tight kink behind the left knee. Ease your way from here into some cat-cow play, finding your way into a 4-point kneel. And then starting to play with the line of your back, alternating between a hollow back and a rounded back. And sinking that shape with your breath. So inhale for the hollow cow, exhale for the rounded cat. Actively pressing off the tops of your feet as you play. Come to stillness somewhere between the two and looking for that long stretch through the neck and the spine, assuming a belly up position. Slide the left arm out, keep stable through the shoulders. Slide the right leg out, keep stable through the hips. Do a lift into table and then pause here looking for that beautiful stretch through the line of the arm, the neck, the spine, the back leg. Stay here or bend your floating back leg, reaching opposite hand to foot. Think cow frame through the back as you kick the foot into your hand, looking for that stretch into the hip flexor and quad on the back leg as you play in tiger pose, Vyagrasana. Then give yourself a little rest in child pose, sitting back, bum to heel, knees softly splayed out, arms long and extended. Today we're actively pressing into the palms, looking for that stretch into the arms, looking for that stretch into the spine, looking for lateral expansion on each inhale, opening up laterally through the ribs. From here, we're going to find our way into a down dog. Piking our bum up, trying to anchor through the feet as best we can. Crown becomes nice and heavy like a little bell towards the floor. Stretching legs, stretching spine, stretching arms. Then soften the left knee, kick up the left leg behind, finding your way into a nice, strong, three-legged dog stretch. We're going to use the three-legged dog to find our way into pigeon. Think knee to nose plank. Rotate the left foot in, relax it to the floor, and then start to slide your back leg away. Begin to settle the weight of your body into your pigeon. You could support with a cushion or a block underneath your left bum cheek if you need it. Maybe you're easing your way onto the forearms. Maybe coming all the way down onto the mat and extending the arms out in front is an option. If you were in full extension on the mat, lead your way onto the forearms and in the palms. We're going to brace the core as we find our way into a plank, tucking the back toe under, bringing the knee off the floor, sliding the lead leg back. Pause here. In your plank, Kumbhakasana. From your plank, you're going to lizard step out into either a midway or a deep squat, and you're going to settle in. Groin should be nicely warmed, so the squat should feel a lot more intuitive. Preferably a deep squat, Malasana, if your hips and your groin will allow for it. Straddle fold comes next. Reaching from the inseam of the legs as we think nice drop down through the crown, looking for that little bit of inversion. Subtly shifting the weight in our feet, looking for that optimal stretch through the back chain of the legs. And from here, we're going to find our way into a Sukhasana seat facing the top end of the mat. So when you're ready, begin to bend as if you were coming back into your squat. Place your hands on the floor behind you. Take a seat, sit cross-legged with the right leg in front of the left. Take a moment to just wiggle your bum bones around on the mat, settling the weight equally on the left and the right side of the body. Sitting up nice and tall, stretching through the line of the trunk and just cupping your hands over the knees. Take a long breath in, and on a long exhale, keep your weight center aligned as you twist to the right, pressing opposite hand to knee, and pausing here for a long exhale. Inhale for a long breath as you come back to center. Look for a long exhale as you twist and press to the second side, keeping your weight bearing equal on both bum bones. Big inhale to come back to the center, and then exhale for a fold. That fold could maybe just be a walkout, or it could be an active drop down onto the palms or the forearms. Modifying with a block underneath the hands if you need to. Looking to expand the back of your ribs on each inhale. And pausing here for a few soft breaths. Looking for a gentle fold through your body line. Peel back up into a nice tall seat, finding your way into a butterfly line, bringing the soles of the feet together, holding around the ankles or holding around the feet. As you make the knees heavy to the floor, look for a stretchy line through the spine, long reaching spine and neck, bum bones, knees dropping down to the floor. Butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana. We're going to use the butterfly to open up into a deep straddle line, Upavista Konasana, finding a nice wide V frame through the legs. Big breath in. On a long exhale, you're going to twist right, hooking your right hand to the outside of your right thigh. You're going to pull in with your hand and resist with the weight of the legs, keeping both feet actively braced. You're going to pause here for maybe a slow count of 10. Keeping your weight center aligned. Then big breath to come back to the middle. Let's find our twist to the left, grabbing for the outside of the thigh, pulling in, resisting with the weight of the thigh, and maintaining a tall sense of trunk with our body weight center aligned. Big breath to come back to the middle, and then ease your way into either just a creep forward, a lean forward, or maybe you could make it an active fold onto the palms or the forearms. If you can easily get yourself onto the forearms, maybe flare them out and try to bring your chin and your chest closer to the floor. Settle in and hold for maybe 20 to 30 seconds. Look to grow the back of your ribs on each inhale. Keep your inner thighs active, then toes to sky. Then bleed your way from here into a nice tall seat. Bend your knees, place your feet on the outer quadrant of your mat, fingertips on the floor behind. Take a big breath in, drop both knees to the right while you look to the left. Inhale, come back to the middle. Exhale to do the same to the second side. Let's do that maybe twice more to each side, just looking for a little release into the groin and the hips. Remembering to look away from your falling legs. Ease your way from here back into Sukhasana, sitting cross-legged, this time left leg in front of right. Take a moment to wiggle the weight of your bum bones and settle into the mat. Finding that beautiful tall seat. Big breath in. Let's twist left with a press opposite hand to knee. Looking to just relax those inner thighs, make those knees maybe a little bit heavier to the floor so that you can feel that beautiful stretch into the groin. Inhale, find your way back to the middle. Exhale, twist and press on the second side. Inhale, back to the middle. Find your walk forward or more of an active fold and hold. Look for the back of your ribs on each inhale. Pause here for a few quiet moments. Bleed your way from here into a butterfly line when you're ready, finding either an ankle grip or a foot grip. Reach your crown for the sky, relax your knees towards the floor. Inhaling and exhaling in a relaxed fashion through the nose. Find your way into a straddle line. Settle the weight of your body into the mat. Find your tall seat. Big breath in. We're going to rotate left first, keeping our weight center aligned. Pull in with the hand, resist with the weight of the leg. Hold the twist. Look for that lateral expansion through the ribs. Inhale, come back to the middle. Exhale to do the same on the second side. Untwist, find your way back to the middle. We're going to walk forward for a little stretch, or maybe take an active fold onto the palms or the forearms, maybe even flaring them out and bringing your chin and your chest closer to the floor, settling in and giving yourself at least 30 seconds in the straddle fold. Look for the back of your ribs on each inhale. Relax and soften your breath. Relax and soften your body. Lead your way from here into a tall seat, bending your knees, placing your feet on the outer edges of your mat. Do a knee drop to one side, looking away from your falling knees, and give yourself at least 3 successive turns to each side. Remembering to look away from your falling knees, knife edging the feet as the knees fall heavy to one side. Looking for that little release into the groin and the pelvic area. Then tuck into a cross-legged seat of your choice. It could be just one leg crossed in front of the other. You could come into a half or a full lotus lying if you like. React as you see fit. Sit up nice and tall for a few active rounds of Sitkari, hissing breath. For this exercise, we're going to be inhaling with an audible sound through the mouth, and we're going to be exhaling with no sound through the nose. For the inhale, think of gnashing the teeth together, keeping the lips nice and soft so that as you draw air in through the gaps, through the teeth, you make a hissing sound. Close the mouth and exhale silently through your nose. Give yourself at least 10 to 15 rounds of this active Sitkari breath. Closing your eyes, taking your focus inward as you find your rhythm. Focusing totally on the sound and then cessation of your Sitkari breathing pattern. Calming your body, calming your mind with this cooling breath pattern. Make this your last active round of Sitkari. Then just maybe revert to normal inhales and exhales through the nose, keeping your eyes closed and your focus inward. Bring your hands to your chest, overlaying one palm in front of the other, and just nod your chin slightly towards your chest, looking for more inward focus as you ponder the next few words. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react. The next time you get hit with a curveball, remember that what happens is not as important as how you react to what happens. Your reactions to situations as they unfold literally have the power to change that situation itself. With those thoughts, let's end off today's practice on the words Shanti. Peace within, peace without. Thank you so much for coming out, for playing and reacting with me today. Till next time, keep it light.